Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you about apple pruning. As you can see, it's the middle of winter and perfect time to prune your apple trees and pear trees, of which this is one. Let's give you a little tour. First of all, you've got to know the parts. Now, this is a good example here. Now here we have the tips, and as you can see, this is the main branch. Now this stem that comes out here, that's known as the leader, and any stems that come off the side branch are known as laterals. Now the other thing you need to know is, if we come around here, now we have fruit buds and also spurs that have fruit on them. Now the idea, ideally, is to get a goblet shaped tree of either 3 or 5 stems. This one was very difficult to get to that. So this is the best that I've been able to get it to so far. First of all, you do the 4 Ds of pruning, which are dead, diseased, dying and decaying. And you take those out, or use your judgment, but if they're dead and diseased and dying, there's no point having them. And also any branches that are crossing, because any crossing branches will move together in the wind, hit together and cause damage, which is where disease can get in. You then cut the leaders back to 5 buds from the last growth. Now down here you will see some lines, and then the buds start after then. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 there, 4. So you would cut to that bud and make it so it's a bud that's in the direction you want it to grow. And then on here you go, there's 1 there, 2 and 3. So I would cut to that one, the 4th, because it's an outer facing bud. And you have to use your judgment, but 5 and 3 is a pretty good general guided amount. The other thing you want to do is thin out, like for example here, if you can see all this, that's a bit congested. So what I tend to do is, if I can get rid of a load of congestion with just doing 1 cut, I will do it. So for example here, what I will do is I will cut that back to there completely. So I'm not sure what type of apple this is. I didn't plant it, I don't know. There are thousands of species, so I'm not likely to know. Now let me just show you what we do. So let's take this that I pointed out earlier. Now just to prove it, now I'd rather it grew that way than that way, because that's all congested. So we're going to cut to an outer bud which is there, cut to an outer bud which is there, that one, and here. Now I'm going to go for that bud down there, and this one I'm going to make, that's the 3rd bud there. The 3rd bud is there, but I want to go out, so we're taking it to there. So that's basically your 5 and 3, and you if you can, you do that as far around as you can. I don't do it to everything. You've got to bear in mind where you want the tree to grow into, or not, as the case may be. We're talking of which, now if we look, you can see that the main stem is up there, but this is going way out here. So I want to reduce that just to bring it in a bit. So I'm going to have to do some serious pruning. And when I say serious, I don't mean that serious, but I'm going to have to head this back, cut back to there and take all this off, or certainly take this back to here. See, I think I did it last year. Take that back to here and bring that back. Maybe bring these back into here. Or or what I could do is just take the whole of this down back to there, which will remove all of that and all of that. So that's something I'll have to think about. And again, here we have this one, which, if you see where the main stem is, this one is starting to grow back this way, which will then force other branches away, and then everything will start leaning. So because it's looking for light, basically. So if you've got an overhanging tree, that's why this pair, and if the pair's on a that's why this pair, and if this pair's on a separate video, you might have to check that out to see me do this. But you can see we've got this tree which is blocking light, so this side of the pear tree, it's all leaning that way, and you have to work with these things. There's nothing I can do about that, and I'm not cutting that tree down. So you have to just take back and make it so the shape is all right. And basically be confident, don't worry, because once you've cut it, and it's too late if you've done it. So little and often is often the key. And also one thing I did forget to mention was the law of thirds. So taking branches back by a third, take a third of stems off. You know, if you want to do it correctly, just remember a third. So if you've got 3 stems, take one of them out if they should be thinned. Okay, that's that done. Well, because I've regularly pruned this, there isn't that much to do, so I'm not able to show you any of the difficult, complicated bits, but here's an example of how easy it is when you prune regularly. Just so you know, that's taken me about 20 minutes to do. And I've taken, as you can see, I've taken some of these back in, just to get the shape, you know, so it doesn't become lopsided. And just generally done exactly what I said. There isn't much to thin out yet. You know, it's starting to get a little bit crowded in here, but I'm not going to do that until it gets worse, because that's okay, that's livable. If you can reach to prune, you can pick the apples off. That's a good thing to bear in mind. One other thing I should mention, and I'm going to have to clean my tools in some bleach, is that I think this may have a bit of canker here. So it's really good practice after any job on apple trees to clean your tools anyway in something, Jay's fluid or something that will kill off any disease. Okay, so that's the apple tree. One thing this isn't going to show you is how to deal with tip bearers, because in my 25-30 years of doing this, I have never done one and never even seen one. So, you know, gardeners don't know everything, because it's not possible to see everything. So there you go, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ta-da.